Thousands of years before anyone poured a concrete slab for a metal building, one culture had already solved the exact problem barndominium designers are quietly rediscovering right now. How do you build a large, enclosed structure that still feels private, connected to nature, and genuinely calm to live in? It's called a siheyuan, a traditional Chinese courtyard house, and its core layout logic is showing up in barndominium design circles for a very specific, functional reason, not just because it looks nice in a rendering. In this video, I'm giving you the real history behind this design, why it genuinely fits the barndominium format so naturally, and an honest look at whether it can really live up to a claim as big as the one in this video's title. Stay to the end, because I'm not going to let that title claim go unchallenged. I'll tell you exactly where it holds up and where it doesn't. Before we get into the history, if you like it when an ancient design actually explains why a modern trend works, hit subscribe. This is Homes and Haven. Every week I break down the real design logic, the real engineering, and the honest cost behind the builds people are talking about. Let's get into it. Let's start with the real history, because this isn't a loosely inspired aesthetic. It's a documented architectural tradition that shaped Chinese residential design for thousands of years, with roots tracing back to at least the Zhou dynasty and surviving in recognizable form all the way through the Qing dynasty and into the courtyard neighborhoods still standing in Beijing today. The literal translation is close to 4 sides, enclosed courtyard, and that's exactly the layout. For buildings, typically one on each side, arranged around a central open courtyard, with the entire complex usually oriented along a north-south axis. The northern building, positioned to receive the best sunlight through the year, traditionally housed the head of the family and served as the most important space in the home. The east and west wings housed extended family members, arranged by a clear generational hierarchy. And the southern building, closest to the entrance, often served a more public or utilitarian role, with the main gate typically placed off-center in the southeast corner rather than centered on the facade. The orientation itself was genuine climate engineering, not just cultural convention. Traditional siheyuan used taller, more solid exterior walls on the northern and northwestern sides specifically to block harsh winter winds, while opening the southern facade to absorb low-angle winter sun. That's a real, functional passive solar strategy, and it translates directly into modern barndominium framing as strategic roof pitch and deliberate window placement, putting more glazing on your south-facing courtyard wall to capture winter sun, while keeping your north-facing exterior wall more solid and protected, exactly the same logic the original design was built around. Structurally, this design shares the exact same core logic we've discussed with other ancient courtyard traditions on this channel. The exterior-facing walls were largely blank and closed off from the street, while all of the genuine living, light, and outdoor connection happened facing inward, toward a courtyard that belonged entirely to the family. That courtyard wasn't decorative empty space. It was the functional and social heart of the entire home, used for everything from daily chores and family gatherings to growing plants and simply catching daylight in a design where windows rarely face the street. This layout wasn't chosen for looks. Like every genuinely enduring piece of historical architecture we've covered on this channel, it solved specific, practical problems that mattered enormously to the people living in it. Privacy and security were central to the design in a way that's easy to underestimate today. A blank, largely unbroken exterior wall facing the street meant a family's entire private life was shielded from public view, from passersby, and from the general chaos of a dense city. Everything that mattered happened behind that wall, facing the courtyard, where only the household could see it. Family hierarchy and multi-generational living were built directly into the floor plan, not layered on as an afterthought. Because different wings were assigned to different generations and family roles by design, a siheyuan could genuinely house an extended, multi-generational family with real structural boundaries between household members, while still keeping everyone connected through the shared central courtyard. And climate and light management were handled the same way courtyard designs across many ancient cultures independently arrived at. An inward-facing design let daylight and airflow reach deep into a large, enclosed structure without depending entirely on street-facing windows, while the courtyard itself moderated temperature and created a genuine outdoor living space that was still fully private and protected from wind and dust. Here's the honest, genuinely strong connection to barndominiums specifically, and it's more than just borrowed aesthetics. A barndominium starts from almost the exact same structural starting point as siheyuan does. A large, often plain, boxy exterior shell, frequently with limited street-facing articulation, especially on a metal building. The core design challenge is identical too. How do you take that large, closed volume and make the interior genuinely feel like a home, with real light and real outdoor connection, rather than a shell with rooms cut into it? The privacy logic translates especially well to the kind of land a lot of barndominium buyers are actually building on. Many owners choosing this housing style are on open, rural, or semi-rural property specifically because they want real outdoor living space. But that doesn't always mean they want that space fully exposed to a road, a neighboring property line, or wide open sight lines from every direction. A siheyuan-inspired layout gives you exactly what that design solved for centuries. A controlled, private, blank-feeling exterior, with all of the real living and outdoor connection happening inward, toward a space the household fully controls. And there's a genuine construction logic fit here too. Because a barndominium is typically conceived as one large rectangular or near-rectangular shell to begin with, organizing the shell into 4 connected sections around a central courtyard, echoing the siheyuan's 4-sided structure, is a naturally compatible shape for the building type, in a way it simply wouldn't be for a narrow suburban infill lot. Let's get specific about the real, buildable version of this concept in 2026, because the modern translation is a genuine reinterpretation, not a literal copy. The 4-wing arrangement becomes, in a modern barndominium, for connected sections of the same structure, sometimes fully enclosed into a true closed loop, sometimes left partially open on one side depending on budget and site constraints, with the courtyard-facing walls carrying the majority of the home's glazing, while the outward-facing walls stay more closed and protected, mirroring the original design's core privacy logic directly. The hierarchy of spaces concept translates into a genuinely useful modern zoning strategy. Even without the original's generational household structure, primary living spaces positioned to catch the best light and the best courtyard views, while private bedrooms and utility spaces occupy the sections with more modest exposure. A real, functional design decision, not just an aesthetic one. And the courtyard itself, as the functional and social core of the home, translates directly and doesn't need much reinterpretation at all. A private, enclosed outdoor room, fully visible from the surrounding wings, serving as the actual center of daily life in the home, rather than a side yard tacked onto the edge of the floor plan. I want to be honest about the framing here, exactly the way I would with any historically inspired build style on this channel. No barndominium company is building you an authentic imperial-era Chinese courtyard residence with traditional joinery and ceramic roof tiles. What's genuinely happening is that designers are borrowing the functional layout logic, blank protected exterior, inward-facing living space, a central courtyard as the true heart of the home, and rebuilding it with 2026 materials, code requirements, and construction methods. It's a design lineage, not a replica, and pretending otherwise oversells the connection. Here's where this video needs to be direct, because we've covered this exact honest math on this channel before with other courtyard style layouts, and it applies just as much here. A 4-sided courtyard structure, whether fully enclosed or partially open on one side, genuinely has more exterior wall perimeter and roofline complexity than a simple rectangular barndominium footprint with the same total interior square footage. More corners, more linear feet of wall, more roof intersections where wings meet. All of that adds real shell cost per usable square foot compared to a simple box, and it's dishonest to pretend a courtyard layout is a budget-friendly option compared to that simpler shape. If the design closes into a true 4-sided loop, similar to a full O-shaped enclosure we've covered elsewhere on this channel, you're looking at genuinely premium, custom home-level costs. The corner connections between wings are real structural intersections that need proper engineering attention, not just standard framing applied uniformly around the perimeter. A partially open version, 3 wings with one side left open, closer to a U-shaped courtyard, brings the cost down meaningfully compared to a full enclosure, while still capturing most of the privacy and light benefit this layout is built around. And it's the more realistic, more achievable version of this concept for most barndominium budgets. Either way, expect a real premium over a simple rectangular shell. This design delivers a genuinely different daily living experience, with more natural light reaching more rooms and real privacy from the exterior, and that experience costs more to build, not less. Any content suggesting otherwise isn't being honest with you about how construction costs actually scale with shape complexity. Being honest means covering the real failure points, the same way we would for any ambitious layout on this channel. Courtyard drainage is the most common and most serious honest risk, and we've covered this building science in detail elsewhere on this channel. When multiple roof planes pitch inward towards central courtyard, rainwater runoff concentrates directly into one localized area. Without real, intentional site grading, subslab drainage, and a properly engineered French drain or catchment system, that water will pool directly against your foundation instead of draining away from it. A genuinely expensive problem to fix after the fact, and an entirely avoidable one with proper engineering from day one. In cold climate builds specifically, this same enclosed shape creates a related, honest risk worth naming directly: a snow pocket. When for roof planes all pitch snow inward toward a fully enclosed courtyard, that snow accumulates in one concentrated area rather than shedding away from the structure the way it would off a simple exterior roofline. Left unmanaged, that accumulation can block drainage scuppers entirely, and it can create real, localized structural roof loads right at the inner valley connections where the wings meet. This isn't just a water management question in a snow climate. It's a genuine structural engineering input, and your roof design needs to account for concentrated snow load at those inner valleys specifically, not just standard roof snow load spread evenly across a simple rectangular footprint. Committing to the blank exterior half of this design without actually following through on it undermines the entire concept. If a builder claims the privacy benefit of this layout but still places large windows on the street-facing walls out of habit or convenience, you're not actually getting the protected, private feeling this design is built around. You're getting a courtyard floor plan without the privacy logic that made it work in the first place. And underestimating contractor experience with this specific layout is a real, practical risk. A courtyard-style, multi-wing structure with real corner connections is a meaningfully different build than a standard rectangular barndominium shell, and it's worth asking any contractor directly whether they've actually completed a project with this level of layout complexity before, not just a standard open concept shell. And now, let's actually answer the claim in this video's title directly, because I told you at the start I wasn't going to let it slide. Could this ancient courtyard design change barndominiums forever? Here's the honest answer. It's genuinely reshaping a meaningful, growing segment of barndominium design right now, and courtyard-style layouts inspired by traditions like this one have real momentum behind them for legitimate reasons: privacy, natural light, and a design logic that fits the barndominium shell naturally. That part of the claim holds up. What doesn't hold up is any implication that this becomes the new default, replacing the simple rectangular barndominium that remains the most cost-efficient, most widely built version of this housing style for a real reason. It's genuinely more affordable, simpler to permit, and easier to find an experienced contractor for. This courtyard concept isn't replacing that default. It's building a real, legitimate premium alternative alongside it, for buyers whose priorities genuinely align with what this specific layout delivers. So the honest version of this video's own title is this: this ancient design isn't changing what most barndominiums will be built as. It's meaningfully expanding what a barndominium can be for the buyers willing to invest in that specific experience. And that's a genuinely significant shift, even if it's a more measured one than the title alone implies. That's the real story behind a design tradition thousands of years old, quietly reshaping a real corner of barndominium architecture right now. The honest history, the honest cost, and an honest answer to whether it actually lives up to the claim in this video's own title. If this gave you a clearer, more complete picture than the highlight reel version of this trend, do me a favor and subscribe. This is Homes and Haven. I put these breakdowns together because I'd rather you understand the real design logic and the real cost behind a trend than just admire a rendering. New videos like this one drop every week.